Is Facebook under investigation in the Philippines?
Well, they're still under investigation from the Cambridge Analytica incident, and that's a two-pronged look at Facebook. The first one is we look at whether data was indeed transferred from Dr. Kogan to Cambridge Analytica, and how Dr. Kogan was able to get all that other information in the first place. The second part of that is we're trying to look at how Facebook processes data, not just in terms of how much they earn from us and how they select which ads we see, but also how they look at our data. How do they ban certain people? How do they say that these people fit their
I'm interested in
service?
that. How do they ban certain people?
Exactly.
I got banned already.
So that's something that's really strange for us, and there has to be some black and white standards. If you remember, they talked about their community standards just this year, but even then, what they discuss about their community standards is pretty vague. And then what we know is that there are people in Cavite who look at the depths of Facebook, but
That's
who are
also what
these
we
people?
heard.
Right, exactly.
Has anybody ever confirmed this?
Yeah, this is a story. I don't know if this is a story in the Atlantic or in Wired.
The outsourced,
Yeah, the outsourced, right.
I
That
think
there's a call center.
I think it's out in the open.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
out in the open.
It's not
Right.
anything clandestine or anything.
Right,
like
but does the normal Facebook user in the Philippines know this? So what kind of people see this? What kind of people make the judgment call on the things that we put out online?
And these are human judgments.
Right. So, and if it's AI making that judgment, we have to know also. That's inside the Data Privacy Act under the principle of transparency.
Well, with what happened over the weekend, are you looking at any kind of liability on the part of Facebook?
Well, I don't want to jump the gun. Let the evidence speak for itself, which is why we're waiting for that. They promised us and they committed that when their investigation concludes, we can go ahead and then look at the images, basically the digital evidence that they've gathered. And because Facebook is what it is, all that evidence we assume is going to be digital.
In the meantime, we have asked, the government has asked Facebook to explain what are the key questions that Facebook has to answer.
Well, first of all, they have to be the ones to explain what the risks are, because they're the ones who understand most what information they collect from people. So, and then they also have to explain the extent of, let's say the access tokens were indeed used. What kind of information would they have gotten from
using
those access tokens? Why is it dangerous? Why do you have to now update your security settings? Why do you now have to practice digital hygiene? Things like this. And they have to be the ones to explain this in a language that people understand. Because if we're the ones explaining it, that means someone's hiding it, or they're not comfortable acknowledging that this is the kind of information that they do have.
Do we have leverage to pressure them?
Well, part of our function is, part of our powers rather, is that we can issue stop processing orders. So
what does that mean?
That means we can issue an order that says Facebook has to stop processing Filipino data. So that's
means
but
what
that's
does
a
that mean
power that we
on
reserve
the
for
user side.
What does this mean on the user side?
Consumer side.
Then
they have no access to Facebook
they have no
anymore?
access to Facebook.
You don't actually have that leverage then.
Ban
Because I
Facebook.
don't think people will
No,
understand.
exactly.
listen.
No, but that's something that will reserve, if things really go south. No, but by that time, we just really do have to understand, every one of us, on a personal level. Okay, this is the data that Facebook has, and therefore these are the security measures that Facebook takes to protect that data. If we're not able to understand that and explain that in that way, then they're not living up to their end of the bargain.